Hey, this is the Antisocial Socialite back at it again. Shout out to all the wonderful new subscribers and returning friends. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you are new to the channel, you have not yet subscribed, what are you waiting for, darling? Hit that subscribe button, smash that notification bell. So when I get to running this mouth, baby, you are in the loop. Thank God it's Friday. And for those of you who work at the weekend, you know that there's no Friday feeling. Okay. There's no Friday feeling when you're working at the weekend. This is not the video I wanted to do, but I was perusing these World Star Streets. You know, the black gift that just keeps on giving. And I came across this video instead. So Tina Knowles sparked this conversation. Shout out to Tina, the newest mule and mammy of the universe, and the lead promoter of black male worship, whatever that means. Depending on which way the wind is blowing, it means different things to different people. And I came across this video. Let's have a little look. As you can see from the title, you know what time it is. Let's go.
Oh, it's on his back.
The parents gotta do better, man. I'm riding down the street, man. I see this man walking, man. By himself, man. 9 o'clock in the morning, man. Come on, man. Come on, man.
I wouldn't have heard things like that.
I'm gonna put him in the car.
Okay, we have to turn up the...
I found this baby walking down the street, bro. Hey, get that weed up out of here, bro. Get that shit up out of here. Yeah, get that whole ass up out of here.
You
gonna be alright, big man. You gonna be alright, big man.
What are you saying?
Man, on the street, man. Sidewalk.
So what happened was, this is a rapper. I don't know who this rapper is, okay? But he was driving down the street and he came across a 2-year-old boy. The boy has nothing on but a diaper. Now, I know how cold it is right here in the UK. I understand that in different parts of the world, sorry for the loud music, I gotta make the music loud and the audio low because they're playing music in the background. It's gonna be a big problem with copyright, blah, blah, blah. So this young black man, okay, and this is the reason why I wanted to do this video. This young black man is driving down the street and he comes across a child, an infant, 2 years of age, in nothing but a diaper in the middle of winter, roaming the streets at 9 a.m. on their own. Okay, so he stops the vehicle, he gets out, he picks the child up, he wraps the child in maybe a blanket or someone's jacket or something. Now people have started coming over to the car asking like what's going on, and he's telling them basically, I found this child walking in the street. Okay, the child is naked and barefoot, okay, just in a diaper in the winter. So this is obviously crazy. Shout out to George in the building. All right, so let's go.
I already did, bro. Man, I can't do that nigga like that. I ain't
No,
gonna...
I'm saying we can walk around because they're gonna take them.
Man, listen, man.
And it's cold.
I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I'm not finna.
So the lady starts shouting, is anyone looking for a baby, right? And I understand why somebody would, they would say that, like, oh my gosh, this child, who does this child belong to? I suppose the initial reaction or the instinct is to reunite the child with their mother or their father. I'm assuming it's the mother, all right? But what the guy goes on to say is super interesting.
They would, hey man, listen, man, this man need to go to, they with me. They with me. Hey, he need to go to better care, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't even feel comfortable giving it back to him.
So he says, I don't even feel comfortable giving this child back to their parents or whoever's taking care of this child, because you're going to see later on why he says that, in addition to the fact that this child has got out. Now, there's going to be a long gap in the middle where they're just sitting in the car. So although the original video is just over 8 minutes, we don't know how long they were actually sitting in the car waiting, because it's actually been edited and chopped up. So it's not like, it was 8 minutes alone, which is bad enough. But let's just be real. Who's ever babysat children and or cared for children? Maybe you have children. Let's just be real. Children are very intelligent. They're very inquisitive. And once they learn how to open things or open doors or get into certain things, like I watched this hilarious video, just to digress, where somebody put a gate at the kitchen door. The child figured out a way to climb over the gate, climb onto the countertop, and the child is only a little bit maybe bigger than this child here, probably about the same age. I was actually shocked at the intelligence, not because I don't think young children are intelligent, but because the way he precisely figured out how to do everything in order to get the goal accomplished, I was actually very impressed. I said, okay, this is a genius in the making, because the goal was to get a pack of cookies or something, like a little bag of chips from on the top of the cupboard or something. And he understood I can't open the gate. So it was amazing the way that he figured out how I've got to climb over the gate. I've got to get something to get onto the countertop, to get onto the top of the thingy, get the thing down, make sure I put it back so it doesn't look like I was the one that took the biscuit. Then he realized, how am I going to climb the gate with the biscuit in my hand? So he threw it over and then he flew over the gate. Now, obviously the child maybe thinks I'm invisible because obviously someone was standing right there filming. But, obviously children don't think that far ahead. But it was interesting the way he done it. It shows, cognitive reasoning and skill and, a little bit of fearlessness. Obviously, fools rush in where angels fear to tread, as they say. When you're young, dumb, and full of whatever, we do stupid things. But the point is this. That child only needs to see somebody opening the door once to understand, okay, for me to get out, I want to go play, I want to go walk. Obviously, they're completely oblivious to danger. They know how to open the door. So I'm not going to completely lambast the parents or whoever's taking care of this child, because everybody knows we were kids, our parents would come in and check on us when we're too quiet. Because when a child is quiet, they're doing something they shouldn't be doing. When they're actually being rambunctious and jumping around and knocking everything down, you're like, okay, you're in this part of the house, you're in that part of the house, okay, I know where you are. But once that child goes silent, it's like, have you fallen asleep? Have you disappeared? Or are you doing something you shouldn't be doing? Okay? So children are smart. I'm not going to say that because a child, maybe while the parent was in the bath or the toilet, they saw an opportunity and they bolted through the door, whatever it could be. Somebody forgot to put the latch on. I told this story before. I was babysitting a child once and we were on our way to the bus stop. And the child is older than this. And I went into my bag. I wasn't paying attention, I'll be honest. I was digging in my bag looking for something, probably my phone. When I looked up, the child was about approaching about 7 meters ahead of me, running at full speed. I don't understand how legs that short can move that fast, but they do. Now, obviously, a child doesn't understand this is not a game. I'm not chasing you. We're about to hit the road and maybe you're going to get run over. Then I've got to explain to your parents how you got run over. Okay? And so I'm now powering down the street as fast as I can. I've got to scoop up this child quick before they get into the road. And I'm like, yay, the bus is coming. And so is my heart attack. Okay. So yes, I understand that it only takes a split second for something to happen, a child to pull something down upon themselves. There's a lot of videos online of children climbing on the drawers, using drawers like stairs and pulling like whole shelves, TVs and things down on themselves. So please, if you have a big screen TV that's sitting on some type of stand, please chain it to the wall, because if a child decides, I saw on the cartoon, Jerry climbing the stairs or whatever, I'm going to try and be like Jerry, they could literally lose their life pulling something down upon themselves. So furniture, if you've got small kids, they don't understand, please actually chain them to the wall. Screw a hook into the wall and chain it. So even if the child climbs on it, if it tips, it can't go over. So that's not the reason why this man is saying what he's saying, okay? Things do happen. But I'm going to let him continue to show why he says that I don't feel comfortable sending this child back to their parents.
You found him on the Alabama side?
Yeah, man.
So some people are saying, call the cops. Now, one person commented that the child is very quiet. And I'm saying, somebody said he looks scared. I don't think he's scared. I think that he is used to not having attention. So he understands that he doesn't really, even if he makes a noise or cries, like nobody's coming. And after a while, children who are in these kind of situations, they do kind of stop crying. They do stop reaching out for attention because they understand when they do different things, which normally would garner attention because, it's trial and error. You've just been bored. So obviously you kind of move an arm and nothing happens. You move the foot, nothing happens. You look, nothing happens. And then you make this noise and all of a sudden this person who's caring for you just comes running over. So you're like, okay, wah, rah, rah, and the kids understand, okay, if I do this noise thing, somebody's going to come. Well, when he makes a noise, maybe no one ever comes. Maybe he's just in a cot somewhere. He's in front of the TV or something. Like, it doesn't matter what noise he makes. Nobody's coming. And this is why he said, I don't feel comfortable sending the child back. Because right at the beginning of the video, a lady commented, why is his back covered in so many scars? So this is obviously a sign of a child that's being neglected and abused, okay? Because obviously it's neglect why the child managed to get out 9 a.m. in the morning. First and foremost, even in the house, unless you've got a super hot house, why do you have, should I say, like, why do you have a child roaming around in just a diaper? Maybe, but I would have imagined at least a vest, right? But okay, so the child is at home, they're comfortable, they're warm, maybe they took their clothes off. Okay, some children, they don't like wearing clothes. You try to put the shoes on or whatever, they start throwing a tantrum or whatever. We've all tried, we've all seen it, trying to put a baby in a buggy and the child rigidly stiffens up like a stick. We've seen kids rebel, so I'm not going to say anything, but what are these marks on this child's back? And the reason why I say Tina Knowles sparked this conversation, because as we talked about the other day, this petition about, why do black men need a docuseries, and they're the biggest abusers of black women. Well, the women are the biggest abusers, or black women are the big abusers of black men and children. And you can say that black women are harmed by black men more than any other group of women is harmed by their man, but black men are harmed by black women more than any men are harmed by their women. Black women abuse black men more than white women abuse white men, or Asian women abuse Asian men, or Latin women abuse Latin men. So this notion that the only people being abused are black women and girls is not only false. In a lot of times, women are actually the aggressors. A lot of the abuse that occurs, women are almost as likely to abuse a child physically as a man would. And when it comes on to abuse of children, a lot of these children are either being abused by their mothers or on their mother's watch. Now, obviously, they were talking about the marks. We can only see this on the back. Could it be carelessness? Could the child maybe have poured something hot on themselves? Things do happen. I'm not, again, going to just say it's abuse, but, we can't see the extent of the damage. How many marks are there? How long do they look like they have been there? Obviously, children's skin heals very quickly, so the marks will disappear. So even if there were a lot of marks, maybe they're not really showing, but you can see from the back that there is quite an extensive mark there. We can't jump to conclusions. This is how sometimes people get wrongfully accused of abusing their kids, but there is a case building here that this child is being neglected and abused.
Yeah, man. I found a little homie walking down the street, bro. Oh, hell, bro. Hold on, Papa. All right, my baby. You all right, little homie? All right? Chill out, bro. This is your friend, man.
So the little boy in the back is, who is this? Is this my replacement? Okay, so now we're kind of getting into the middle of the video where The video is 4 minutes long, and you're going to see that it kind of time lapses a little bit. I wish they had the feature where you could speed it up, but they just sit in the car waiting. So I'm gonna.
The police coming. We don't want to talk to them. The police right there. The way I saw you was moving.
Okay.
You used to get in trouble, yo. What y'all was doing
So remember at the beginning of the video, the lady that's here or with this gentleman, she starts shouting, "Has anybody lost a baby? Like, how do you broach the conversation? Have you lost a baby?" And so they're sitting in the car, and finally somebody has realized the child is missing. Okay, and so that's what everybody's kind of looking around now.
You hear me, boy?
I'm not really sure.
Hold it, baby. Hold it, baby. Hold it, baby, right quick.
No, you ain't finna get in trouble, no.
I ain't gonna touch it.
You not finna get in trouble because the police coming. You not gonna get in trouble. No. The police coming. We don't want to talk to them. The police right there.
The way I saw you was moving, I don't think that was your baby. You were moving too slow, mama.
So then, you see, this is why the manosphere has an issue with the single mother situation. Okay, we don't want to demonize. We don't want to, castigate or trying to make people feel bad. But the woman said the way that you were moving too slow for me to believe you're even the parent of this child. Like, I can't imagine how. Well, I can remember the time when that child ran up the street, how it could have gone badly wrong had that child just gone into the middle of the road and a car was coming at that time. Thankfully, it was a quiet time of the day, so the road was pretty bare. There was hardly anything anywhere. But it could have just been one vehicle reversing or something like this. And I was literally, I'm brown. You've seen how brown my hand is. I'm pretty sure my face was white like snow for a good 5 minutes, because I was like, this could have really gone real bad real quick. And, you have these women on social media really disparaging and talking negatively about black men. Across the board, there are bad men, wicked men, evil men. And this boy was lucky that he wasn't picked up by one of those men, or a woman, because a lot of these pedophile groups, and I'm just going to say the word, a lot of these pedophile groups, they use women and even children to lure away other children. All it takes is for that child to be picked up by the wrong person, and nobody would have known who or when or where. They would have been like, I left little Johnny in the cart. And I've seen, we've all seen videos of children escaping their playpens and carts. So even just leaving the child in a cot is not necessarily a wise idea once they reach a certain size. I left little Johnny in the cart. I turned my back for just a minute, and then the back door was swinging. It's so easy for these things to happen. And I'm so happy that this child was picked up by, I'm not even going to say a decent brother, because the vast majority of black people are decent people. When I see this thing with Tina Knowles, now I think about it, I really feel annoyed, because the impression that a lot of people put out here about black men is that they're all these ravenous sexual monsters. They hate children. They don't care about their kids and things like that. And this man said, I feel like if you left that child with that man long enough, he might have just taken that child home. Let's just be real. He's like, look, you got a new playmate. This is your new brother. Get over it. But it really was sad. And I have been in that situation where I've come across not children roaming in the street, not that I can remember, but I did come across a situation where I met a child at a house and they'd been injured, and I had to do a little bit of makeshift first aid, which is obviously trespassing. The children had been left at home on their own. They weren't black. They were actually Eastern European. And that's a long story, but the long and the short of it was the two kids were playing with something sharp and the child's foot had been cut. And at first I thought it was just a flesh wound. And as I wiped it, blood just started streaming all over the place. And it was a little boy like this, and after, we fixed, the middle child, because there were three of them. The middle child had a cut toe, and the baby had a nappy that was so saturated it was almost down between their knees. So I'm like, okay, now we've kind of, made sure your foot hasn't fallen off. You might as well just change the nappy while we're here and just try and, at least flip on something clean. Black people are decent. We are helping, we are caring, we are loving people. And so when I hear this petition, I just find it so infuriating because it's such a one-sided narrative. A lot of black men are caring, they're loving, they love children in general, not just their own children. And this video is good evidence of that. The fact that he said this child has been left to roam, and up to now, no one has noticed that this child is even missing. Were you high? Were you drunk? Were you asleep? Were you just busy on the phone or watching TV? And because you're so distracted that you didn't realize this 2-year-old has just kind of wandered off into to be snatched up by basically anybody. It hurts. That child is not scared. That child is like, thankfully somebody's talking to me. He's like, is this my new daddy? Those are in the state of healing, so they're older. And I was thinking, could it be cigarette burns? That's why I said, could it be the marks of something hot? Because you know, when you kind of, if you've ever touched something hot, like the skin kind of, it gets a crust on it, but there's kind of like the flesh underneath is okay. I wouldn't say it looks sore, but I can imagine it was sore at the time. Big and benevolent, shout out to Obsidian. And it is a sad situation. It is a super sad situation. And then afterwards, when the so-called, whatever single mother appears, then what happened? She's just roaming casually, like all she wants is her kid back. She doesn't want the police to get involved and things like that. And I'm not going to say this is a sign of all single mothers, but maybe she's a young woman. And so, she just doesn't think. She just doesn't think. And right on cue, here comes Baby Friedman. Can Baby Friedman be as cute as Daddy Friedman? So shout out to everybody in the building. Shout out to Mr. Momberese. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry if I butchered your name. Shout out to George, Friedman's Journal, Cortez Smith, Mr. Uganda. Who else did I see in here? Yeah, Stoic One. Shout out to everybody. Trolley? What was that? My mind straight to Venable's case. Keep your eyes on your children always. Oh my gosh. So for those of you who don't know, there was was he 6 years of age? And these two 10-year-olds kidnapped and tortured this little boy. He was about 10 years. He was about 2 as well. And it was just a horrendous case, the way that these two 10-year-old boys took him out to basically the middle of nowhere, tortured him, and then like kind of buried him and everything. And the internet is littered with videos of people abducting children, attempting to abduct children, and even assaulting them. And it literally just takes the blink of an eye, just losing that concentration for a minute for something to go wrong, because they're kids, man. Kids are always looking for an opportunity. We know how it goes. When our parents go into the other room, we know we've got X amount of seconds to get this, do that, do this. We know how we were when we were kids. And younger children with no filter, they are even worse. So it just is what it is. At the end of the video, unfortunately, he mutes it. I don't know if it's because he wants to keep the woman's identity private or what. But there's no remorse, there's no sense of urgency, there's nothing. She just comes over and basically says, oh, just give me the child and let me go back in the house.
Sorry.
I think he then goes to cuss her out. I can't hear. And that's it. Up to now, he still hasn't given her back the child. He's still in two minds. He's still in two minds. So that's it. So yeah, so Tina Knowles sparked this conversation. Shout out to Tina Knowles, okay? This notion that black men are just irresponsible, they're heartless, they're mean because they don't want to raise other people's kids. It means they probably don't care about the children and all this garbage. That's not the case, okay? Black people and black men are loving, kind individuals. It just happens to be that, there are a handful of bad apples out here. And so to paint this one-sided narrative that all black men are just these heartless, ruthless individuals who don't give a damn about anybody. They are, as some of the women are saying, these men are all attackers. They're all abusers. If you were attacked or assaulted or abused by one black man, that means all of them are like this. Therefore, you have to stop birthing them, and you have to stop dealing with them, and you have to hate on them, and you have to block docuseries and do petitions, because any form of positive promotion or praise for a black man is some type of worship. Well, the reality is a lot of black men are decent guys doing the right thing every day. And when they talk, unfortunately, what they say, just falls on deaf ears. Shout out to V-Dub Boogie in the house. I remember that case from a shopping mall. And it's sad. And you'll be surprised it's happening more, unfortunately, than we'd like to admit. So with that being said, I really appreciate everybody who came through. If you are new and you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. Of course, share the video with somebody, who needs to see it. Toxic black masculinity that, rescues wandering black children. And the video ends with him still holding the child. So, he's in two minds whether to really give the child back. But unless the authorities get involved, what can he really do? He can't necessarily take the child, because then he would be the one, deemed the abductor at that point. So according to Black Women Online, the baby had an 80% chance at dying in his arms. If you let them tell the story, every black man is a danger and a threat, and that's why they need to basically be wiped out. So with that being said, I hope everybody has a good Friday, a good weekend. Women have that opinion are of low class. That is why they have that opinion. If they were of a higher class, social class, they would be around quality black men. And that's the thing, let's go back into that one last time before I get up out of here. The issue with that whole statistic of the women being killed every so many hours is really to do with culture and environment. For the women who are younger, more inexperienced, more in the streets, shall we say, they're more inclined to be dealing with males who are dangerous. And so when you skew for social class, when you skew for social class, when you skew for things like age, then obviously the statistics are not going to be the same, because young girls in the hood are more inclined to be dealing with low vibration males, dangerous men in and out of prison and things like that. They are about that life. So I'm not saying that it's justified, but it just is what it is. And this is the video that I wanted to talk on. I will touch on it later. I wonder if I can open it. Okay, I've got to go. So basically, this is a baby shower that gets shot up, and you can see everyone here is super young. These are the kind of young black females who are getting killed by these so-called, I know some people hate this word, pookies and ray-rays. Okay, young black girls who are dealing with drug dealers, dealing with, little boys in the hood. You can see they're all, got balaclavas. As the gunshots ring out, other people start, pulling weapons to go outside to return the fire. You can see they're doing shisha. Why are you doing shisha at a baby shower? So I might break down this video later, because that was actually the one I wanted to do, but this one came up first. So shout out to, let me just quickly go through these last comments. he can take the child, he has no way of verifying the woman, he should take the child to the police. And I think at some point someone was saying the police are on their way. I don't know if that's actually true, because that's the other thing. A lot of the time people don't really want to report these things. They feel like they're betraying their own people by bringing the police into the situation. Snitches get stitches, but then at the same time the dysfunction continues when it's not called out or handled. So it's like the guy has a struggle, because he knows if he returns this child to this potentially neglectful situation, the child might not make it out again the next time. And when I say make it out, I don't mean outside. I mean they might not survive. And so he doesn't want to send that child back when he could have done something that could have ensured that child's safety. And again, bringing child protective services into it and things like that, people are going to feel some type of way. You just basically throw another black person under the bus. But it's kind of like, what's in the best interest? Are you trying to protect the mother or the child? Even Keishas that get a degree still get with Pookie. Read the black woman lawyer, exactly, a lawyer dealing with a Pookie. And we talked ad nauseum why these women deal with these low vibration males, because they're easy to control, and at the end of the day those men cannot hold a woman accountable because they're not in a position to say anything. So even if the woman is messed up, you can't hold her accountable because the man is more messed up and he's in a sensitive situation because he's dependent upon the woman. People underestimate how easily a black woman can get a wealthy man. Black women just don't like being in those circles. I don't know about that, because they have to be moving in those circles in order to get those men, but they probably could. The issue is the traditionalism. There's a conflict when it comes to culture. It's not really so much that they can't get attention. The question is, can they get the ring? That is a lie. They forgot that black women kill black women. Exactly. A lot of the people who the women who were killed in these studies, it wasn't conclusive who actually killed them. So it was assigned to black men, but actually we've seen a spate of white men killing black women. And then you also have, obviously, the highest rates of domestic violence are between lesbians and then bisexual women. And I believe that probably those bisexual women are being assaulted by their female partners, not their male ones. So, the reality is this: married couples have the lowest rates of domestic violence. So if you're dealing with random men, if you're dealing with men who are not in love with you, committed to you and things like that, then you are kind of risking a higher rate of domestic violence. And if you're in a girl-on-girl relationship, that is the ultimate likelihood of you experiencing domestic violence, because women have no filter. When women go off, they have no restraint. They don't think, okay, they'll say, well, I'm a woman, I can't really hurt you, so I'm just going to give it my all. And they go in on men, women, and even children like this. That's why the damage is so high and so common amongst them. Okay, they forgot that, white men do kill black women. Of course, they're not going to talk about that because that doesn't fit the narrative. I would posit that the good men are not the majority in their world. And I agree, they are not attracted to those men. Exactly. You see, quality black men do not say such things. Doing shit at a baby shower is tacky as F. Okay. Most Western black women do not qualify for a quality man. Yep, I've seen black women in the hood that get six-figure dudes, but they are so used to Pookie swag and they won't even give attention to wealthy men. So I really appreciate everybody who came through. Like I said, if you are new, you haven't hit the subscribe button, please make sure you hit the subscribe button. Share the video with somebody who needs to see it. Subscribe. Did I say subscribe already? There's something else I'm supposed to say, but I forgot what it is. But of course, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. What the Great Society really did was reveal the gulf in culture between upperly mobile black people and low-caste black people. That is why the definition of us is under great debate. Yeah, that's a conversation for another day. I'm pro-elitism. I'm pro do for self. I'm pro-separate. I'm pro-separate and surrogate. I'm pro all of those things, because at the end of the day, no other group tries to bring the lowest of the low along with them. They understand that you know, we ain't with those people. Okay, they have a name for them, and they have a caste for them, a class for them, and they ignore them. It's only black people who want to save everybody, even though the people you're trying to save, in a lot of instances, they themselves do not want to be saved. So with that being said, for the third time, if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Okay, share the video with somebody who needs to see it. I remembered what it is. You need to give the video a thumbs up. Even if you didn't like the video, give it a thumbs up. God damn it, don't be stingy. A like is free. And of course, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.